Kris Li, welcome to Part of My Success!
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Oh my god, this has been so long in the making. I think you have been on my original guest list since I started the podcast.
Which was how long ago now?
2 years. 2 years
I
ago.
remember you talking about this years ago.
Years ago, because I also have taken approximately a year and a half long break from aerial, which is why Kris is here today. One of the reasons. One of the many reasons. Kris is an incredible dancer, acro, pole teacher, electrical performer extraordinaire, choreographer. Did I miss anything? Massage therapist. That's a big one. That is a big one. I feel like we have another. Stretching, physical therapist,
Personal trainer.
That's the one. That's the name. That's how you call it. Yeah, and Coach Kris. That's my girl. Oh my gosh. I met Kris years ago now at the Vertitude in LA at like a little hammock class, and ever since I started inviting her to random things, including my sister-in-law's bachelorette party. Kris taught at.
Oh my god,
which was incredible.
That
was like one of our first hangs.
That was great. That was so
amazing. It was so much fun, and I was like, she's cool. We're gonna hang. And then I just started going to classes and stuff. She teaches private lessons as well. I used to have them in your home, which was so cool. Rest in peace to the mold house, unfortunately. Big tragedy. Mold is taking over these days.
I mean, mold is always everywhere.
That's so true. One day, and to mold we shall return. But can you tell us how you kind of began in the world of artistry and performance?
How did I begin? I started dancing when I was 10-ish. I don't remember how I got into it, but my mom used to always tell me stories of when I was like really little, 3, 4 maybe, that I was watching some kind of performance and I turned to her and I said that like I wanted to do something like that.
Nice.
Which obviously I have no memory of. Actually, I did do some dance classes when I was younger, like until maybe 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
You know, you see some of these kids who are dancing and they're like really good and they have this crazy technique and do all these crazy tricks, and it wasn't like that. It was just like you're just like
ballet class,
hopping around
butterfly
as a little kid. Yeah. When I was 10 or 11, I guess I somehow just found out about this studio that was around me, and I asked my mom to sign me up for classes. Also, I don't really have memory of how that came about.
You were like, I found the studio for my dreams.
It was just the typical like ballet, jazz, modern. As I got into college, I joined a dance crew there.
Hell yeah.
Which got me into less like studio little kid growing up styles, starting to get into more commercial styles, hip hop, jazz, funk stuff.
So true. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Connecticut.
West Coast Queen.
I was in Connecticut, close to the border of New York. I was able to just take the train into the city to take classes. Cool. And then when I went to school, I was in Jersey, also close to the border of New York on the other side. So it's still take the train in and just take classes occasionally. I was majoring in dance, but it was a modern dance program.
That's cool.
So
where
more like Rutgers.
Hey, Rutgers!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
So it was more technical, more like the stereotypical weird college modern stuff.
Yes. Where you're just like pretending to be a box.
Did a lot of that.
That's
weird
fun.
stuff.
Hell yeah! Oh my god, what was that like?
It was very intense in terms of the schedule.
Fair.
It definitely is what started bringing my endurance up to where it is now to be able to perform and teach and do all this stuff full time, because I would start ballet class at 8 a.m. and I would have a full day of classes. Most of them were movement dance classes, and then I was in that dance crew, so I would finish practice for that at like midnight or 1 a.m. and then I would wake up and do it again for 5 days in a row.
Did you have like homework at all?
Yes. It wasn't too intense in that first year because my curriculum was more movement based.
Yeah.
But I did have some more intense classes because I was also pre-med at the time.
Kris, what?
So my first year of college, it was a lot.
Hello?
Very busy and have a very jam-packed schedule, and I was sleep deprived from probably about 6th grade until my sophomore year of college.
Classic Asian experience,
Yeah.
though. Wow.
No, that was a lot of my life. That's just how I operated. Definitely all through high school.
Was it you did this to yourself?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know where this came into my head. It was just kind of like...
It was like your parents were forcing this.
No. They never gave me specific things like, oh, you need to sign up for this, or like, you need to take this honors class. But I guess this was just set in my mind as what the standard was and what I expected for myself.
You were your own tiger mother.
I guess so.
That's really beautiful. I love that, actually. More children should have that kind of internal motivation. You know, you're pushing yourself to get places, and like having that kind of drive on your own is so hard. I feel like there's so many people that don't get places because there aren't people pushing them. And look at you, pushing yourself. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely did a lot. I had a phase in high school where I was in all honors and AP classes. I was in 2 clubs. I was taking dance classes, and then I took an EMT course at my local hospital, which was like 8 to 16 hours a week for several months.
So was like the original plan to be a doctor?
Yeah, I wanted to be a doctor for a long time. I wanted to be a trauma surgeon at one point. As I got into college and started going through chemistry, okay, it's a combination of things. Chemistry, definitely, like, it's one of those classes that filters people out of the track, and, you know,
on purpose.
I am not too proud to say that I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about Orgo.
And that's fair.
But I also realized that I didn't want to spend the next 8 years of my life in school.
Yeah.
So then at that point, okay, we're in college. In my sophomore year, I changed from my BFA program to a BA instead because I already had most of the classes I needed for that.
Yeah.
But technically, I just added another major in exercise science, which I also had a lot of the classes already started because I was on the pre-med track before.
Gotcha.
Because I got signed with an agency in New York, and I didn't want to drop out of college, but I was like, I want to get this done as soon as possible so that I can focus on dancing.
Wow, go off. Okay, wait, so what was that like? How did you get signed? What was the agency school at?
This was so random, actually. It was just someone from one of the dance crews that I was on in college. They were going to an open call for Clear Talent Group in New York, and they invited me to go, and I don't think I was originally gonna go. It was definitely my head just like for the experience. I was not expecting anything to come out of it, but evidently something came out of it because I went and I got signed to Clear Talent Group.
Oh my god! How many people did they sign? Do you know?
In that one audition, I think it was maybe 8 people.
Go off.
There's one girl who got signed in the same group as me that she moved to LA a couple years ago, and she's around here now too. She's doing a lot. She was in the Rockettes for a while. And starting to teach more around LA.
Oh my god, that was always a dream of mine. In the 6th grade, I was this height in the 6th grade, and I was like, I'm gonna be a Rockette. Like, we're gonna go for the gold, like Victoria's Secret angels. Like, here we come. And then I stopped growing, and like everyone else just kept, and I was like, oh. This is it. For me, 5'4.5". Will never be a Rockette, but wow.
I thought you were taller than that.
No.
Because I'm short. So in my head, you're tall.
No, I have been told I have tall energy, but
yeah.
I am
you know what?
averagely heighted. Yeah. Okay, wait, so that's so cool. So you're in an agency now. What, you're
still in school.
Year?
That was my sophomore year.
Wow, so you literally changed majors. You're like, I'm a commit to dance, and then dance committed to you. That's how the universe works.
Yeah. At first, I wasn't doing a lot of dancing, wasn't going to many auditions because I was like, I don't want to drop out of school. Mm-hmm. I want to finish this before I'm just ditching school all the time to go to these auditions and
Internal tiger mother coming out again.
Yeah, apparently.
Those Chinese roots run deep. Education first.
And then my junior year, I did one semester, the fall semester at school, and then for that spring semester, all I had to do was like an internship.
That's cool.
So I moved back home early, and I started dancing a little bit more, and I would just take the train into the city to keep taking classes and start going to auditions, and so that was cool. It was definitely an experience to get to go to a lot of these auditions in New York, but a lot of them ended up being not necessarily the style of dance and work that I was as interested in. A lot of it was Broadway auditions or like off-Broadway stuff or whatever, just that kind of genre. And yeah, it was really cool. I mean, one time they asked me to come back to sing for the second round, and I'm like, I don't sing, but okay.
Here I am.
Yeah, spoiler, it was terrible because I don't sing.
I'm sure she was amazing, all right?
So yeah, very cool, but just not the kind of style that really calls to me.
Yeah.
And I always had this idea about going to LA. There's another thing. This happens with a lot of my plans. I don't really explicitly plan things. I'm kind of just following what's calling me, and then everything just unfolds. So
my uncle calls following your inner GPS.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I relate to that. I know all dancers tend to be like a little self-deprecating, but like I wasn't that good at the time. Like I wasn't expecting to get signed. A lot of my skills and my development came after, and really a big part of it is like the confidence.
Yeah.
I did not have confidence. I did not have a sense of myself or my style. Granted, I was like 21 at the time, you know. It's very common, especially people who start dancing when they're younger and they move into the professional world. There's usually this period of time of having to develop your style, your voice, your confidence to transition from being that, you know, the studio
everything
kid dancer to being actually able to hold yourself in the professional world.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I feel like that's applicable to like any creative path, any job, even like you go to school and like you're kind of like taught all of these things, and then it's like you go in the real world and you have to siphon through everything and be like, okay, what works for me and what actually makes sense and is applicable to my life.
I knew about this mentorship dance program. It's a 3-month mentorship with Dana Foglia. She's been a choreographer for a lot of big names. So I came for that program. The program was hosted at Movement Lifestyle Studio.
Hey!
This was before COVID, so they were at a different location than where they are today. Around the end of the program, the studio had work study applications out. And there was someone in my program who was a work study there already, and I was friends with him. Thanks, Flynn.
Okay.
So I applied for work study, and then I was like, oh, guess I'll just stay here and not go back home. I guess I live here now. Oh my gosh. It was an experience for me. It was part of that big transition of being like this kid studio dancer to getting introduced to the professional world and just, you know, the different level that exists at. So at the end of that program, I felt like, oh, I'm dancing at like 50%. And I didn't even realize that I had this whole 50% that basically it felt like I just wasn't utilizing. I didn't know I could push into that. I got right into the work study program after, which basically just allowed me to take a lot of classes. I was just taking maybe 2 to 4 classes almost every day, going to the gym, training all the time. I did a lot of foundational classes, like house foundations, dance hall foundations, etc., instead of just doing a lot of choreo classes. So this was a time of a lot of growth for me. I started just working on local projects. It was about 6 months of doing that, and then COVID happened. And obviously, everything changed then. My life changed so much. Ugh. So I'm really glad that I had that time to really focus on training and setting a lot of foundations for myself, building a lot of strength for myself. I was still in the place where I didn't feel like I had that much confidence or like a sense of my style, and I hate when everyone's Instagram captions are like, this was a really run, or like I could have done better.
This is so awful.
But you know what, I used to do that too, because it's just how I felt. We're like so in our heads about everything, and it's not bad to have this vision of how you want to improve when you have the eye and the knowledge and understanding to see what the standard
should be.
But you're just not there yet, so you're feeling this gap between your skills and where you want them to be.
Yes, exactly. No, I feel that exactly. It's when you watch any performance, any dance thing, it's like, I know exactly like what I should be doing, and even like down to like the head movements or like that, and it's just not happening. Like, why?
It just takes time. It's just because there's no shortcut to getting there. The people who are like working all the time, they have just a lot of hours under their belt.
10,000 hours.
I used to try to remind myself that the people I would look at, what they have posted on Instagram, first of all, is a very small percentage of the amount of dancing that they've done, because that's just, you know, like one run out of however many, and what they have on Instagram is still more hours than everything I've ever done. So like, how can I expect myself to be at that level yet?
That's so fair. Well, but okay, you have since put in many hours. How did you find your actual own personal style?
It came from exploring things that were not those styles in dance. So when COVID happened and my whole life shut down, the studios were shut down, that's when I started getting into pole dancing first, because I lived with a pole dancer, and actually I had always been really interested in pole dancing. I don't know where I first saw it. I don't know how I got this idea in my head. Common theme. I just always was kind of drawn to it. It was part of the reason I picked this roommate, because I saw she had a Facebook Marketplace listing, and there was a pole there, and she was saying something about, you know, like would be ideal for this other roommate to be a dancer, like, you know, someone who understands kind of the lifestyle, whatever. And Tosh, thank you. We are still very close. She's my best friend out here. I met my fiance through her. We're family.
Stop, it's so cute.
So, started with pole dancing then. I don't know where I saw it, how we got introduced to it. I bought a lyra.
Just on a whim?
I don't remember.
How much did
I don't know why I did this. It was like $200 or $300.
That's an insane random purchase.
Yes. So I had never taken a class. I don't think I had ever even seen one in person. So at this point, I have no idea why I did that or what brought this idea into my head. But I bought it, and then a couple months later, I started taking a couple classes at the Vertitude.
Oh my god.
2 months later, I got my first gig on lyra.
That's crazy.
And a lot of this comes from the fact that I was dancing already for a long time, so I knew how to move. I was working out, and so I could do, like pull-ups and stuff. And I was a gym rat since college, very much. So I had the strength and I had the knowledge of how to move my body and how to teach myself stuff.
Yeah.
And then since that gig, I just continued booking work. I just continued trying out different styles, different apparatuses. And I was living with my fiance, and his dad was a pastor. So at the church, they had this hard point thing set up, and his dad used to teach kids how to rappel. He used to teach wilderness skills, outdoor things. They had a 40-foot climbing wall in the back parking lot of the church.
I want to go to there.
It's not there anymore. We'll get to that. That's another whole crazy story, actually. But we added a couple hard points so that I could train aerial. So after that first month of classes, started working. I never really went back to any classes.
You were just like, all right, and
I just was kind of teaching myself and using the space at the church.
Wow.
We did end up making a friend who was an aerial coach also, and she was using the church space to teach her private classes. That gave me most of my introduction to how to train, and gave me my introduction to a lot of like the foundations of hoop. A little bit of silk, so I mostly did hoop with her. And then since I had that space, and I just was able to practice basically whenever I want.
So what would you say your favorite styles actually are?
I mostly do flying pole. I do a bit of chains. I like it a lot, but I actually feel like I do it more because it's requested rather than because it's something that calls to me. I really just like doing the things that are a little bit more specialty. So flying pole and chains, they're less common. I just like being the person that does things that are like less common.
And you're so good at them. Oh my god. Zach and I went to her show last week. I will put some footage here because it was amazing and it was absolutely incredible. We are so proud of you. Genuinely. It was like this insane burlesque performance. So Voss does these shows Christmas, Halloween. Yeah.
I heard they also did one in the summer too. It's called America's Secret.
Oh. How are you booking these jobs also? Is this like word of mouth? Or?
They're all so random. I mostly get booked by people that I've never met because they just find my Instagram, or maybe someone sends them my Instagram. And honestly, I didn't always have that much stuff on it, but really Instagram is the modern day resume. Even when your content is not that great or curated.
Post! Just post!
Yeah.
And it'll get better. I think that's the biggest thing too, is that as over time, you'll learn what looks good and what gets more views and more engagement and stuff too. But you have to put things out there because yes, it's your modern business card.
Yeah.
Like,
basically.
It's what you're sending people these days.
That's exactly the approach that I took. After I realized that I was getting booked from this, I just started posting more and more, and this is something I've been really glad I've had this mindset shift since I was young 20s, dancing only. At the end of teaching, I'll just do one take. Whatever happens, I don't care. I just post it. Like, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. And you know what? Life is so much better when you don't stress about trying to get that perfect take and, like, editing it to make it look super extra fancy. Okay, well, I do stress about the captions still because I can't think of.
It's hard. The captions are, I think that's the thing I spend the most amount of time on, and I'm editing things forever. I think the biggest thing that people need to realize is that there will never be a perfect take. It will not happen. Genuinely. Sometimes miracles happen, but rarely. And you just need to put it out there. Just put stuff out there. Make it happen. How did you actually start teaching then? How do we transition there?
My first teaching job was at Aeroform Arts in Hollywood.
Right around the corner.
Yep. I had a very beloved Saturday group of lyra students for a while. It was someone that I met on a background acting job.
Oh, fun.
So someone I met there is friends with the owner of Aeriform and just randomly reached out once and asked if I'd be interested in teaching because they were looking to add something to the schedule, and I started there. And then my second teaching position was at Vertitude in Canoga Park. And then once I had my own space, I started just teaching my own classes. I had a very big example from that first coach I trained with at the church, realizing that like, oh, I can just have my own classes.
Let's do this.
Because of my background in exercise science and personal training, I just felt like I was well equipped to teach people. I've always liked teaching, and I've also taught all different kinds of styles of dance since I was 16, from like ballet to hip hop to heels to musical theater, just everything. I've just done a lot of teaching. I just felt confident, and compared to what I was seeing in other classes, I'm like, I feel like I can do a better job at this.
So true, and you do. She's an amazing teacher, and my favorite of the teachers that exist. You know what's so exciting is that you could actually take classes with Kris even virtually. The school account.
It's open. So I started a community online.
Yeah, she did.
For aerialists and pole dancers, and it's not just a general like tutorial learning how to do tricks, because I think there's a lot of that out there already, but what I see a lot of people struggle with is knowing their body, learning about their body, and how to train safely as they're getting into pole and aerial, because it's kind of crazy what we're doing with our bodies. It's not nothing.
No.
And
it's very hard.
And if you don't also learn how to properly take care of your body, how to approach movements in a safe and biomechanically efficient way, people just get hurt. There's a lot of pain that I think a lot of people consider it just normal. Like, you know, you're training like this, so yeah, you're going to get injuries, like things are going to hurt. And sometimes things happen out of our control, but it does not have to be that way. And it's really just a gap in this information because, of course, all these people who are out here teaching, not everyone can spend 4 years in college getting a degree in kinesiology, but this is why I want to put more of this information out here to help anyone who's doing this recreationally to professional level just be able to learn a little bit more about their body and stay healthy, stay pain-free, injury-free, get to keep advancing in your skills, and that way it's all fun and not just pain and crying and injuries and
so true. None of that. We want none of that. We want you to be able to thrive and do aerial. And I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about aerial. I don't know.
So much, because sometimes people will find out what I do and they're like, oh, I've always been interested, but like, oh, I don't have the strength for it. Like, I'm not strong enough, I'm not flexible enough. And if you have strength and flexibility, it will help you be able to achieve tricks faster. But most people don't have strength and flexibility. Most people who start taking classes recreationally don't have any kind of movement background. And I know it can be overwhelming for people sometimes if they come into a class and they do see someone who's like, they were a gymnast their whole life and they're 20 years old, and so they're like doing all these crazy tricks on their first day. But remember, like, if you're going for fun, you're going to also get a good workout, you're going to learn about your body, you're going to have a chance to improve your mobility, and you really don't need to have any amount of baseline strength or flexibility to start, because you can always just start where you're at, and especially if you have a good coach. They're going to help you start where you're at to feel comfortable, to gradually build strength. And this brings up one of my favorite things about pole and aerial, especially about pole. I find this more common, that people, as they build strength and skills and they see their bodies do so many things that they didn't think they'd be able to do, it builds so much confidence and so much appreciation for the body, especially when people have been turned off by like traditional workouts or this idea of like, oh, I have to go to the gym just to lose weight or I'm not strong. Because then no matter where you're at, when you're doing something like pole dancing, you are going to see your body change over time because you're going to get strong. But no matter what stage you're at, you're looking at your body in a beautiful way and you are seeing all these cool things that it can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Honestly, I mean, I had a dance background, obviously, starting out, and I did some rock climbing, but I mean, there was a learning curve, but yeah, being able to see the progress and see how much, like, better you're able to get just by learning the techniques and, like, learning these different strength training exercises, and I feel like you're so good about, like, yes, like, we have to stretch these specific parts of the body, and, like, here is why, and, like, having that kind of knowledge actually helps you, I feel like, engage those muscles then when you're actually, like, performing and utilizing those skills. And I feel like we should all go subscribe to Kris. And that's what we should all go do today. Do you have any advice to young creatives out there? Dancers, pole, anyone's?
This one is all for dancers, pole dancers, aerialists. I think it's very important to remember that what you're doing in your specific discipline does not define you as a whole. This is just part of you. You also have other parts of yourself that you have value from. I mean, just you existing as your unique self. That has value. That's going to contribute to your performance in whatever that discipline is. But when you get caught up in, okay, it's just this skill that I have, I'm here and I want to be here, this really just minimizes how you feel about yourself. And then you get so in your head and it becomes a cycle. I feel like it really holds you back.
Yeah, don't do that. Push forward.
Yeah. I think it's really helpful to try other disciplines too than your main one. Even if you mostly only do one. Even if you do one of them professionally and you just try something different only for fun.
Just for fun. I think we all need an outlet that is literally specifically just for fun. Especially creatives who turn their creative passion into a professional job. Like, I think a lot of times people say, like, it robs the joy from it. So then we need to find a different place where we get our joy. And that is okay. And that is a beautiful thing. And I believe in all of us and our ability to do that. My last question before we go into our little first part of our workshopping session. How did we kind of get into the electrician portion of the facets of Kris?
That was just because I met my fiance. He's been in the electrical industry for over a decade. Shortly after we met, he's working for someone else, and he realizes, like, you know, I want to build a life with this woman, and I can't do that just on the salary of working for someone else. He had always been playing with the idea of starting his own business, but he just never had the confidence that he could actually do it. And I mean, for me, just like starting new things, starting a business is very like, yeah, why not? Like, sure, you can do it. As long as you just keep working on it, it's going to work out. So he started that on his very first solo job. He needed someone to help work with him, and he brought in his friend who had been doing electrical work longer than him. But that first day on the job, this guy just was like moving really slow, just not getting much done and not doing very clean work. And he would come down and this guy's like FaceTiming with his girlfriend on the phone.
Hello?
So he came home really frustrated, and I was like, I'll do it, I want to learn, I'll come help you. So I went, I spent a long day splicing a lot of outlets and light switches. That was my first electrical apprentice job. And since then, I started working with him. So for almost 4 years, I was working with him in the field. And at this last point, this last like 4 or 5 year mark, I started working more in the office, and he started trying to bring in some other guys to help him with the manual labor. I really appreciate everything that I got to learn, because I don't think I even knew how to use a drill before I started working with him.
And look at you now.
And I understand so much more about not just electrical, but I have a baseline understanding of construction now, which is really helpful.
Definitely.
Even just
in
the
life.
Confidence of like, at least I can hang a shelf on the wall. I didn't know how to do that before.
Yeah. I would do it badly if it were up to me. But what we're going to do today, as part 1 of our very exciting workshop series, is Kris is going to help me fix the wiring behind us, because it is not very well done. I did it myself. But now we're going to do it together, and let's see what happens.
It's really not that bad.
And we're back again. As you can see, we made some changes, some adjustments. Kris did 95% of all of the work here. I held the thing at one point. So
you were very supportive.
Maybe it was like 98%. Emotionally support.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Cleaned a little.
Look at Bear.
Bear's here as well. Really deeply thank you for this. Look at her.
These ones might take off some paint.
We are upgrading. Okay, before we go do some aerial, tell us more about this whole church situation.
We were using that church for our aerial practice space for a while, and we had showcases there, and we would bring people to train, and then Kanye West bought the house next to the church that my fiance's dad lived in, and he started renting the church to use for his school. He was trying to turn the whole thing into like a giant complex.
So like Donna,
school.
the whole...
Yeah.
Oh
his
my
Donna
God.
Academy. He would come over with his wife, Bianca, for dinner. Yeah, it was so weird.
What?
It was so random.
Wait.
And he'd come over to just play pool with Ron, my fiance's dad.
And you're just like also there?
Yeah. Yeah, so we'd just come hang out and we'd have dinner. And
what was it like having dinner with them?
he is very different in person.
Really?
Yeah, he's a lot less crazy in person.
Okay.
I mean, granted, we only see him for a very small amount of time. I don't know if all of his stuff in the media, how much of it is real, how much of it is a publicity stunt, whatever.
How does Bianca seem?
She is super sweet.
Yeah? Okay.
And she has the fattest ass I have ever seen in my life. As a side note, respectfully, Bianca.
No, but really,
she was so sweet. She's so
sweet. She doesn't seem like she's in a hostage situation?
Didn't seem like it in the moment, but you never know those things.
It's so true. Things can change. But at the time
I don't know all
of the Donna Academy. Wow, that's really, really interesting. That's like, what? What?
So because that happened, that's the reason that Cam and I moved to our old house in Granada Hills. Yeah. And that's how I ended up having my own studio space at home, where I started teaching classes and having video shoots and jams and my parties and showcases, and that's what led to my community.
So there. Kanye West was one of the reasons, a large reason.
I guess so. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I might have never moved to that house, and I might have never had my community of classes and parties and showcases and jams.
Wow. That's insane. Does Kanye still own the church?
He did a bunch of renovations, and then, like, partway through the renovations, he just kind of ditched it all, which apparently is a pattern that he has.
I've heard about this. Didn't he try to, like, remake Tatooine somewhere, too?
I don't even know. Wow. And then the house that he actually bought and purchased that he owns, also he just abandoned that. I think they were waiting for a long time to see what they could do with the church and the house. Okay. Because he wanted to buy also, like, the next property over and make this giant complex. So in the meantime, he had his people tear down all of the house except the front wall, so it looked like it was still there. But the whole back of the house, it was just like a frame. And then it just got abandoned, and I think it got just taken over by homeless people. And then I think someone was cooking some drugs, because there was an explosion and big fires, and the property burnt to ashes.
Oh my gosh.
And it's still like that to this day. It's just like a kind of little patch of wasteland.
The church too, or that just
not the church, just the house.
Where is this?
It's in Northridge.
I don't even have words. What a chain of events.
Yeah, it really is. But you know what? I'm grateful that we ended up with that old studio in Granada Hills. That place was so good to us. Eventually, unfortunately, we had to move out really last minute because there were mold issues. And it was affecting our health.
We're going to bring her back bigger and better. Mm-hmm. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited. Yeah. There's actually a property in Santa Monica they desperately want to buy. It would be incredible for like an aerial dance.
Well, if you're ever thinking about it, let me know.
No, yeah. You'll be the first one to know. Everyone, get into it. Let's do some art. And also, get out there and do some aerial. I literally just started it because I was like, I've always wanted to fly. I've always wanted to fly around. And now I can. And you can too. So sign up for classes. Sign up for Kris's, is it called school?
It's on School.
On School.
The community is called Cirque Strong.
Cirque Strong on School. There's also an Instagram. There's an Instagram. It'll be tagged below. Everything's gonna be tagged below. Go follow her. She's amazing. Now let's go do some aerial. I'm so excited. Tee, it's been so long. Hello.
She's back.
We're back.
All right, first thing we need to do is make sure our shoulders are warm and ready to hold our weight. So when we first start going in the air, regardless of the apparatus, we need to understand a little bit about the mechanics of the shoulder to have it in the best position that keeps it healthiest and helps us avoid pain and injury. So true. Let's just start with some shrugs. Hands reach up, slowly shrugging them down. Keep them together 5 times. We're trying to curl the pelvis, like you're trying to point your butthole up to the ceiling. Good, adjust your knees to the center. You can take your hands out of the center. Make sure you got a good hold. We're doing little pulses 10 times into the butt. 3, 4. You're good, you're here. You don't need to let go. You don't need to hold on to the ground. Okay. You're good.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna die.
You're not gonna die. Bend it back on. Yeah. Yes.
I wanna die.
Squeeze your booty. Lift up, kind of like a cobra. Lift.
Oh, that hurts. Bro.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm here.
Lift up even Lift, lift, lift. And whenever you're ready, fold back down and hang.
This metal, by the way.
It's true. Lifting really does hurt.
Oh my god.
But you get desensitized to it.
Perfect.
And then pike legs straight. Good. Now hook the knees on. And hang. First with the bar in front of your face. And push it away. Beautiful. Now we bring the bar behind the head and arch. Nice.
Whoa.
Keep the bar behind your head. And relax your arms. Let them reach up towards the ceiling and grab onto the hoop. And reach the right hand down.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
Here's our beautiful.
Yay. Okay, you get off this now.
Knees down, head down. You're just gonna fall into your lap. Yeah. There you go. Yes. Give yourself a break. When you're ready, we can try that with a little bit of spin.
Woo. Okay.
You know what it looks like?
Oh, I know what's happening.
Okay, toes to the top. You're gonna find that pike position. Use the legs up, lift you up first, and pike. Good. Hooking the knees on. Make sure you have a good grip in the back of your knees, heels going into your butt as you release. Whee. Good. That left leg is going to slide down the side of the hoop, out to the left, and reach it out, pencil the body. Nice. You can bring your hand on as you fold over to your hip. Arch that lower back. Yes, that's that shelf. That's what's going to hold you.
Yay.
The shelf.
I'm a star. Oh my god, my body hurts.
Hi, Kimmy.
Hi. What is that?
Oh,
ow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Moves. And that's Ariel with Kris. Yay. Thank you so much, Kris. We love you so much. Thank you. Everyone go follow her down below. She is the best. We love you. Bye. Say bye, Kris. It's just, yep. Are you PMSing?